Travis Bowman here. I'm a fingerstyle guitar player and retro video game nerd. Let's take a look at this LEGO keyboard from kbdcraft. To be honest, I never would have thought about combining LEGOs and computer keyboards, but as soon as I found out that this exists, I had to give it a try. Of course, the keyboard isn't entirely made out of LEGOs because that wouldn't be very fun to type with. The idea with these customizable keyboards is that you literally build it yourself from the ground up. It's actually just the base that is made from LEGOs. There's a PCB included that's designed to fit around the LEGOs themselves. Once you put it together, you almost forget that LEGOs are the foundation. This is a really sleek design despite being made from plastic blocks. When kbdcraft asked me to review this keyboard, I had no idea what to expect. LEGOs can be pretty sturdy, or they can fall apart easily depending on how it's built, but either way, I was pretty excited to test it out. So far, it looks very similar to any other LEGO set until we really start pulling things out of the box. We've got everything we could possibly need in this box to get started, and just like any other LEGO set, we've got a manual to help us put this thing together. Let's unbox this sucker. Let me just say that I'm really impressed with the packaging. This feels like a collector's item before I even get it out of the box. This definitely feels like it's a premium product, and kbdcraft does a great job of giving you that vibe as a first impression. This keyboard is called the Lilith Q, and there are a few different models that you can choose from on the website. It's kind of crazy just how much customization there is with these things. I chose the Lilith simply because I really dig the aesthetic. Keep in mind that there are different variations of the Lilith keyboard. You've got 3 different options to choose from with this one: the layout, the type of kit, and the keycaps. The particular keyboard that we're looking at in this video is a 60% ANSI layout, and I chose the full kit with KOP Sealy as the color. I didn't include a tutorial section in this video because that would kind of defeat the point. The idea is that you follow the guide and build it yourself just like any other LEGO set. However, let's check out this time-lapse of the build as I continue with the review. For the most part, this build is pretty straightforward. All in all, it took me less than an hour to put this thing together, and I think it came out pretty great. I did find myself running into a few problems, and we'll get to that soon. But first things first, how does it perform as a keyboard? I've had absolutely no issues using this keyboard once I put it together. It feels pretty sturdy once it's on a table. The base underneath is made from 3 separate flat pieces, and you can really feel that once you put your hands under it to move it. Luckily, we've got these rubber feet that are included in the box, and once this LEGO set transforms into keyboard mode, it feels perfectly natural. To be clear, I don't think this thing is going to come apart anytime soon. The PCB fits inside the LEGO base exceptionally well, and I think it's actually a really smart design. We're essentially taking the PCB and making a LEGO sandwich out of it. Keep in mind that this keyboard has to be plugged in, and a USB-C to USB-C cable is included in the box. No wireless functionality here. Although I think this could probably be easily implemented in the future, there seems to be more than enough room to fit a smaller rechargeable lithium battery underneath that PCB. But hey, that's easy for me to say. I'm the YouTuber, and they're the engineers. This particular keyboard has a very creamy sound, which I like. kbdcraft included some of these sound pads that are supposed to make it a little quieter, but I really dig the creamy sound of it, so I ended up not using them. Now let's get into a few specifics that I don't like about the Lilith keyboard. They included this wrist rest in the box that's also made out of, you guessed it, LEGOs. This is a pretty cool idea, but I've got to say that this part just isn't for me. The keyboard itself is pretty low profile, and having a wrist rest isn't a bad idea, but I don't really dig that part being made out of LEGOs. The part that your wrist will rest on is pretty smooth, but I removed that part not long after including it. Still, it's a pretty cool idea. I suppose I'm just too used to padded wrist rests on my keyboards. Still, these LEGO wrist rests are pretty affordable, and you might dig it. I'll admit that it does kind of complete the aesthetic overall. Be sure to purchase 2 of them though if you want both of your wrists to have something to rest on as you're typing. The guide for the main keyboard was really easy to understand. It's a nice booklet with several pages that pretty much takes you through every step. The guide for the wrist rest was not as easy to follow. It's a double-sided piece of paper with 4 steps. I think they could have taken the time to do a proper booklet. I mean, sure, I figured it out, but it kind of hurt my brain a little bit. I think the guide for the wrist rest could have been a lot more involved, and as a result, I think I would have had this thing put together a lot quicker. I kept stopping to make sure I understood what the guide was trying to tell me. You know those LEGO guides, man. Sometimes they're like optical illusions with the pictures. Does it go over here? Or is it too far back? Should I move it over here? Is this the correct angle? That sort of thing. That's definitely the most annoying thing about putting some complex LEGO sets together, and I suppose the wrist rest is pretty authentic in that regard. At a certain point in constructing this kit, you'll have to put in the keys themselves. It's a pretty difficult process to screw up, honestly. You've got 2 prongs on each key, and you just have to fit them into the PCB. The guide recommends that you plug in the PCB to your computer after you get the keys in to make sure that every key lights up like it should before you finish putting it all together. If something isn't right, you should be able to notice before you complete the build. I did that, and it seemed to be working fine. After the keyboard is completed, it's a good idea to use a program called Vial to go through and make sure all of your keys are assigned to the correct function. Escape is escape, backspace is backspace, etc. You can do this through a website or just download the program. I tried using the website, but I ended up downloading the program and using it that way due to the issue that I was having. Everything worked out just fine except for the Enter key. This is arguably the most important key on the entire keyboard, and I got pretty frustrated when I couldn't map it correctly. It's like it just wasn't registering. After about 10 minutes of troubleshooting, I decided to take the keycap off and remove the key itself. Luckily, I just had 1 spare key after installing all of the rest of them on the PCB, and that fixed my issue. I'm not sure if it's something that I messed up or if that particular key was just bad. I might have pressed it in the wrong angle and bent a pin or something like that. There aren't a ton of spare parts in this kit, including the keyboard parts as well as the LEGO pieces, so you better take your time and be very careful. Make sure you don't lose anything. I decided to go with the basic Lilith kit, but you can find all sorts of different keyboards and more colorful keys on the kbdcraft website to really customize your build to your specs. I'm also really digging the fact that they included this little Minecraft character in the box. There's a ball-end LEGO piece that's integrated into the keyboard base that allows you to have them attached to the keyboard, and that's pretty cute. This Lilith keyboard would make a great gift for someone you really care about. Imagine the 2 of you putting this thing together, only at the end of it, instead of having a LEGO set to display, you've got a really cool keyboard that you can use with your PC. I think this would be a really cool gift for your wife, for your husband, your girlfriend, your children, or maybe even your aunt. I really appreciate kbdcraft for sending this keyboard to me for review. I'm a habitual tinkerer, and this definitely satisfied my tinkering itch for the day. Be sure to check the link in the description if you'd like to check out the Lilith keyboard yourself. What do you guys think about a computer keyboard made out of Legos? Is it just a novelty, or do you think it's pretty cool? Do you see yourself wanting to put something like this together for your setup? Let me know the answers to all these questions in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Bye-bye.